Welcome everyone. We are in season 3, y'all. Welcome to season 3 of Horror and
Yeah.
Hooch. Let me get a little bit louder. Season 3 of
Hey.
Horror and
One, two,
Hooch.
three.
And it
Trace.
is also Black History Month. What a better month to start off than Black History
Woo!
Month? So we are glad to be starting off in this month. Um, I'm just happy to be back for season 3 and
Yeah.
Definitely.
Black women, Black horror. Let's get into it. We
Yes.
decided to
All
kind
of
of
that.
go into a topic that we felt was important to discuss this year. Um, it's been a lot going on, you guys. So let's talk about it.
Everywhere.
We're going to talk about um, the horrors of racism. That's what we gonna do. We gonna do that. So before we do that,
Okay.
mm-hmm, we gonna do that. We gonna get into it today on this podcast. Yes, we will. But y'all, we gonna do the hooch part 2, of course. So Desiree,
Okay. You gotta
let's
get
break.
in.
Let's get to the drink part before we get into the discussion. Let's get to the drink.
Listen, y'all might need a strong drink too, because we finna talk about it.
Let's talk.
So for Black History Month, I'm doing a little bit of different today. Your drink for the evening, my drink for the evening is actually a Jack and Coke, a JD and Coke. I don't have to tell y'all how to make a Jack and Coke because it's Jack, it's Coke, put it together to your
Mm-hmm.
liking. But the reason I picked this drink is because we're talking Black History Month, and there has been some recent newfound information in the last couple years, and it wasn't really a secret. It just was one of them unspoken things. In reference, I'm sorry, to Jack Daniels. So let me tell you what I found out. Do a little research. Jack Daniels is actually created co-created between Jack Daniels and a man named Nathan Nearest Green.
Mm.
Nathan Nearest Green was a slave in Tennessee. He was not Jack Daniels' slave, but he was a slave. Um, and what happened was he actually is who taught Jack Daniels how to distill. And after teaching him how to distill, went to work at the company after the Civil War. So he didn't get his flowers when he was due. We've been drinking Jack Daniels for how long? What this cup say? Since 1866, and ain't
Mm.
nobody never talked about this black man who helped create it.
And
Um,
that's up.
right. And actually, we need to give some flowers to Miss Fawn Weaver because she is one of the African American women who has been a catalyst in getting this thing recognized, and
Mm.
she has also started another brand from her research, which if I haven't already told you, Uncle Nearest Whiskey is the
Yeah.
shit. And that is who it is named after. It is named after Nathan Green Nearest. Um,
Mm.
like I said, he worked for Jack Daniel after the Civil War, and currently the company that owns Jack Daniel, which is Brown and Foreman, are recognizing him as the first black master distiller in the U.S. So
Mm.
that's a major thing because we didn't know that before. Um, and like I said, he's the inspiration for the Uncle Nearest whiskey. And the thing that Fawn Weaver has done that I think is really dope, I want to make a trip to Tennessee. She bought the original farm where Jack Daniel and Nathan Green started distilling this whiskey, and an additional 4 acres to turn it into the Nearest Green Memorial Park. I think that's
Wow.
dope.
That's
She's been
beautiful.
doing buku research. She's talked to family members in Tennessee. She done pulled up all the things and she done went to the company and said, y'all need to give this man his due credit. And that is
Mm-hmm.
what they are doing. So quick Black History tidbit. Jack Daniels was created, recipe was finessed by the first African American distiller in the US. We are recognizing him as such. There's no proof that nobody else was doing the same type of thing, but that's what we're recognizing him as right now because we don't have any information about anybody else.
Mm.
All
So
right.
get your
Mm.
So
Jack and your Coke going. And
I'm
try
gonna
that
tell you.
Uncle Nearest because it's good.
Oh.
And that's on. Mary had a little lamb.
Mary had a little lamb.
Y'all a mess. But I'm about to take a shot of this Jack Daniels. Y'all know how I do. Mm.
Got my little black girl on my cup.
I was sipping a little before the show, so me and Jack is running low. Sorry,
Y'all, you know
but yeah,
what? We always do a little pre-sip while we getting ready. So
got to.
Hey, know how that go.
just a little behind the scenes of us.
Man, so I'm gonna say this. This is it goes along with the topic, but you was talking about black women in horror, right?
We talking about black
The,
women in horror. We talking
mm-hmm.
about the horrors of racism,
You talking
Black
about the state
History
of the
Month.
nation?
Let's go.
Man, all of it. All right, I'm here for it. So like, what's one movie that you all can think of that's like dealing with slavery or racism that's in horror that might, you know, get up under some people's skin, you know, raise up the
well,
topic.
well, we gonna start it off by saying that I guess kind of putting the horror I get horror films that kind of highlight race, and I guess a lot of people didn't see this as a real like horror film, but I understand what they were trying to
Mm-hmm.
do. And it was the movie Antebellum, because I didn't think that
Hmm.
it was really that scary, but I understand the fear, because I
Yeah.
in my mind I thought about the movie 12 Years a Slave. That's what I thought about when I watched Antebellum. Because think about it, the guy in 12 Years a Slave was free. He was free. And wasn't he going, if I, because I only gave that movie one watch. I only gave it one watch.
I gave it a half.
That
I
was
gave
it.
it a half watch, baby. I was fast forwarding it because I was getting angry.
Well,
I gave it one
I
look.
might I might lose my black card, but
You ain't watch it.
I ain't
I ain't
watched.
Girl,
mad at. I didn't watch it for years. I ain't mad at all. I've
I,
stopped watching
well,
slave movies
let me
um
let me because
because I'm angry.
it's
yeah, it made me
trauma,
mad.
because they inflict trauma. But let me tell you what happened in it. This guy, he was a free man. He was a free man in the
Okay.
North. And he heard about like a job opportunity or something like that. Um, so he was like, and he had a family and everything, and he's like, hey, I got this. I heard about this job that's gonna pay well, so I'm gonna go and see about this. And it was a setup, and the this so-called job opportunity was set up to capture Black people and to take them back down south and to put them back in slavery. And so that was the
Yeah.
horrific part for me, is that he was already free. And that's why I thought about the movie Antebellum, because think about it. It was like just regular Black people, like this day and age. Everybody's cool and fine and free. And then she's living her life, and the next thing you know, she's got placed back into a situation of slavery, which is what happened in 12 Years a Slave. Like, you just living your life and you're fine. And then now, and somebody takes you and kidnaps you, and now you're back in slavery again. And that's what happened. And that's horrific for Black people. And what I have learned within the past couple of months, y'all, is that white people
What's
do
that?
not think that racism in horror movies is horror. They don't feel that.
Well, cause they not black.
Exactly. They think that they go, oh, a little bit of racism in horror movie, that's not horror. So the things that scare
Yes, it
us,
is.
because that's horrific for us, they're like, oh, that's not really horror. And in
But
my
it's not
mind, I'm
even
like,
a
if that's
little
not
bit.
horrific for you, then you must be one of the monsters who's inflicting the terror. Because if you don't think, because in my mind, if something is not that horrific, that scaring somebody, if you're not the person that, then you're the person scaring the other person. If it's not horror for you, then it has to be you're the one that's inflicting the terror upon the other person. And nobody wanted to respond when I decided to challenge that upon people. Like, if you don't find that horrific, if that doesn't tear, if that doesn't scare you, then you get a kick out of scaring people with stuff like that, because that scares black people into thinking that you could be living your life one day fine and dandy, and then somebody wants to, because think about it, um that is a type of human trafficking, because human trafficking is real, that there are people, there are children being trafficked from other countries,
Matched up.
being taken and being victims of traffic and being used as like sex slaves, and being forced into like human servitude, um when they think they're coming over to different countries to get a job, to get an education, and then they get tricked and into
Yeah,
doing something completely different. That happens for real
that's
today.
true.
And that's horrific for some people. That is scary for some people.
Mm-hmm.
But
It should be scary for everybody. And that's my problem with the conversation of how it's
mm-hmm,
going. I don't know how many people watched Antebellum. I'm not gonna lie to you. I did not watch it until we discussed this topic amongst ourselves, and I was like, "Dang, let me go ahead and watch it." Because, like I said, I didn't watch
mm-hmm,
Slave because it was a slave. I thought it was a slave movie. I saw slavery in the previews. I was like, "I'm not doing that." So I watched it this week, y'all. And my thing with this movie is how you mirrored it with 12 Years a Slave. 12 Years a Slave, he
mm-hmm,
was in the North. He got tricked and they took him back to South, put him back in slavery. But the thing that it sticks out in that movie is slavery was still going on. It was
mm-hmm,
still a thing. He was free, but that wasn't the state of the world at the time. In Antebellum, ain't no slavery. That shit illegal. You ain't supposed to be running up on no plantation getting beat, and all of a sudden you getting kidnapped and wake up looking like Angel Mama picking cotton.
right,
That's not. That's terrifying. And
right,
then they telling you can't talk to each other. You're an educated black woman with degrees on a national syndicated TV show. You writing books, you leading conventions, and all of a sudden you picking cotton.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
That's terrifying.
mm-hmm.
And the
Scary.
only reason they not scared is because it's not gonna happen to them. Ain't
And
nobody finna pick no white folks up and put them on the plantation and be like, whoosh. That's
exactly,
not something I want to do. I don't got time for that.
Mm-mm.
exactly,
But it's people out there still living like it's coming back around and we're gonna be living this lifestyle again, and that is terrifying.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yes,
I
it's,
don't
yeah,
no, I don't know.
exactly. It's terrifying to know that it's people that are out there making money in human trafficking, that are abducting people and putting them in servitude. That things like that are real for a lot of people, and that is horrific. And they're only doing it to certain races. That's the scary part.
This is true.
And
It's true.
and it's hard when people don't see that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's the scary part of racism, is that people want to be turn a blind eye to it, because it's like, if it doesn't happen to me, it obviously doesn't happen, so therefore this is not a fear of mine, so let me overlook it.
Listen,
And then that's what,
we all watched the Capitol a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
We know that it's a group of folks out there who think they above the law, they above everything else. It don't happen to them, and it ain't possible.
mm-hmm,
And they was all at the Capitol last couple weeks ago. Um,
exactly, exactly,
I don't know. When you
Exactly.
have this conversation, there's movies like Get Out that we've mentioned as well before, where
Hmm.
people looked at that and was like, I didn't get it, or I don't know why that was scary.
Oh,
But again, for us,
that's
it's like,
another
oh shit.
one. That's another one.
And that
That
was scary. Come on. Like
that's
people
another one.
basically spotting you out and scouting you for your organs. Come on, man.
That's
And
another
that's
one.
another thing that's still legit happening.
Yes.
That's another
There's a
one
Yes.
black
that
market
in
for
that
organs now.
that's another one. White people that they said that they don't even call that a horror movie. They said that that's not horror because of they feel like it was too much about race that it took. They say that took away from the horror of it. And I'm like, y'all know this is happening to black people. Let me tell you how real this is. The guy uh who directed our pilot episode of Fifth Column said that when we because he's a Savannah State alumni, said that
Mm-hmm.
when we were in college, he had a cousin pass away. And uh he ended up with no organs. He said that's a very real thing because it happened to one of his
See?
cousins. And
I
y'all
mean,
think
it happened on a national level. Everybody saw that thing with the young man in Valdosta when
in
they found
Georgia, it
him rolled
happened
up in that gym mat
in Georgia,
here
in Georgia. And that was what a few
and when
years ago.
they got
That
ready
was
to do that
around
other
what
autopsy.
2000, 2000 what 12, 13.
Don't let me
Mm.
lie to you on the date, but I remember they got ready to do that second autopsy and they pulled that baby back up when they exhumed his remains and there was no organ. He was missing organs.
He was missing
And I was like,
organs.
how? Houseway. He wasn't a donor.
Yes, that he had no remember, and they found that child. They found him rolled up in the gym mat, and they tried to say he did it. That's how he died. How you roll yourself up in a gym
He
mat
fell in it.
and
He fell in
your
the
own
top of the mat.
and take out your own organs, and that's
Well,
still
now they tried to blame that on the funeral home.
mm, in Georgia. That's happened, and that's still an open case. There's still no information about it. There's still that's still open as to where there was a petition going around um uh not too long ago when all the other petitions was going around um with the protests and stuff to go back and look into
Mm-hmm.
his case about what happened to him,
Yeah.
what
It was
happened to
too much
him,
going on with that. It was too many.
where are his organs. And y'all think stuff like Get Out is too far-fetched and that it's not scary because of the
No.
racism part, but it's stuff like that happening, and that was just a few years ago.
Like,
Man, why you think people be scared of like doctors, surgery, all of that?
Mm-hmm.
These vaccines, like it's just a lot of stuff that I feel we're used as guinea pigs even underground because they know about our genetics. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They know the quality of it, especially us black females. So I mean, it's hard to me because I mean, like in the back of my head, I think about the fact of what is a young lady's name they use her cells for that we use now with the vaccine.
oh,
I feel so bad I cannot think of her name right now.
I was gonna say if you had not asked me, I could tell you off the top of my dome.
I know you could.
Um, because it's a
But
major scientific thing, but I can't think of it
Mm-hmm.
right now.
hold on. But it's just the fact of the quality of our just existence. But you don't want to say it though. But you want to go behind the scenes and do all this to kill us, and then I don't know, y'all. I mean, this topic, to be honest, normally y'all know I'm giddy up, laughing, and all that, but it just really puts rage in me, and that's something that I try to work on whenever I have to have professional and appropriate conversations with other people and try to depict the importance of how and why I feel the way I feel. I don't think a lot of people understands that it's not just, oh well, it's 2021 and yeah, it's still racism, but it ain't no but. It's like this rage and this pain
True.
is like centuries old. You know, it ain't me. It ain't
Exactly.
just me. It's what's in me. It's who I am. It's who I come from. It's a strength that's behind me. All
Mhm.
of those generations of my ancestors, I feel everything, as well as the flip side, I gain all that knowledge. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But it's just I don't think people look at it sometimes at that depth. And I'm not the type, because I love everyone. You know, I wish we all could coexist and love each other, you know,
Mhm.
but I just wish people would understand the trauma that comes with that. And if you are of the Caucasian race, then admit to the fact that your ancestors were just wrong.
Raggedy.
They were wrong. And you do better. And by you doing better, that sets it up for the next generation. So they ain't got to put their head down and be like, well, yeah, my granddaddy would KKK. You no, my daddy fixed what my granddaddy did. So now I can. That's all it takes. Just admit to it. Be like, I'm sorry, and do better.
Ain't gonna be no sorry.
And that's the
Hold
sad
on,
part.
hold on. Let me key it down because I was
Mhm.
finna be, I was finna be ignorant, y'all. Let me tell you, this topic when we talked about what we was gonna discuss, when we said racism and in horror, I was like, ooh, I'm gonna just shut up on this episode, but I can't. But like I said, I don't watch the slave movies because it makes me angry. But just like now, watching the news makes me
What?
everything makes me angry.
Mhm.
And it's traumatic. Like after we've watched this black man die on TV, we don't watch this one minding his business getting shot.
At his
Go to the store,
house.
your house is getting shot. It's all just a accumulation, and it's terrifying. Like I have boys, and everybody talks about you got to teach your kids. My baby's 13. I had to tell him, if you ever in a situation when the cops roll up on you, I hate to say it, but comply. Don't give them no reason to pull a gun on you. Granted, you got all the rights in the world. Just don't get them no reason. And I hate that
Exactly.
I have to tell him to box himself in and be appropriate and kind of yes, a master, no, sir, or whatever the case may be, because I just want you to come home alive. But
Yeah.
that's a horror aspect for us. And when you tell it to people who don't live it, they dismiss it. And I think that's what happens in the movies. When you see this stuff in the movies and we like, oh Lord, and they be like, it's make believe, it's just fiction. No, it's not. It's not fiction.
Well, mm, it's not
It's
fiction. It's real. It's
yeah.
straight up real. That's the part that makes it scary. But I'm gonna say this: the part that makes me a little bit more petrified, and this is on us too. This when that man was on the ground choking, can't breathe. How many of this was out and people recording and not stopping the police, not intervening? Okay, I understand. A couple people might catch a bullet or two, but I'm just saying, like, why can't we also stand with each other in those moments? Like, come on, it was what, two or three
Actually,
police?
a lot of people actually, I watched the video, and I was actually brave enough to watch it from start to finish. I did. I said, you know what? I said I'm a stick it out, because a lot of people were attacking the young lady who had the original recording, and saying like, why didn't she do anything?
She
Because
a woman.
yeah, because she was young. Yeah, number one, she was a woman and she's young. Number two,
Yes.
she did try to do a lot, and a lot of people in the video did. I watched it from start to finish. A lot of people tried to step in and do a lot, and they were threatened. Um, a lot of people kept saying, "Can I do? Let me stop. Get off of him. Get off of
Ain't
him."
no,
And
you ain't
every
got to
time,
say. I'm talking about do action, like
and no,
action
yes,
too.
every time they tried to approach him, the other, if you notice, there were the guy that had his foot on his neck, and then there was another cop that was like in front of the other guy, and every time somebody said, hey, can I just come check him? Can I come check his pulse? Can I see if he needs something? The other guy kept would like do this and be like, step back, step back.
Okay. I'm not trying to sound like
Mm-hmm.
um what I'm saying is what you just said, right? They keep
Mm-hmm.
going, can I? There should be no can I. When you see your person struggling, when you see your folks struggling, okay, they take an action, you take some action. Like, okay, if I'm, for example, say if I'm seeing you getting your butt beat on the street, Kima, all right,
Jumping in.
I'm jumping in. If it's not a one-on-one, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. This make me mad. This.
Mm-hmm.
Put that down and jump in. To me, you want to say we're not like our ancestors. To be honest, that part is what we're not like our ancestors and we need to bring back. They didn't do all that. What they did, they got together, they got their guns and did what they had to do and let them know you can't come up in here like this. You're not gonna do all of us like this.
Oh yeah, we do need to stop saying that we are not like our ancestors because they were hella strong. They hella stronger
Yeah.
than a lot of these weak ass people are these days.
Y'all know
So
I lost some respect for my idol when he said that bullshit. I love Kanye West, but when Kanye West gave me that backward ass logic about we chose slavery because we didn't do XYZ, and how is this many of us and we all got enslaved and it was more of us than them. Ugh, I was so hurt.
Yeah.
I was so hurt.
Yeah.
we
And I
just
Exactly.
talked about how that could happen. Like they were some majority of them were promised something better, or they were actually enslaved by their own.
right.
I mean,
And then we don't talk about that
we
part
don't talk
because
about that part, do we?
that's still happening too. It wasn't as major as, folks want to make it out to be like, well, y'all did to yourself. But it's still happening
Oh
in
yeah.
a different form. So
Oh.
I mean, yeah, we won't talk about none of
Mhm.
that.
And we
Mhm.
don't talk about, and of course, the thing is the tactics of divide and I mean, when you talk about, I mean, there was a people don't want to talk about. There was a lot of slave revolts that people don't want to talk about. A lot of that happened. There
Because
was a
they
lot.
don't want us to get that up in us. They don't want
You
us to
see
be
what I'm
like, oh
saying?
yeah, let's do it.
There was a
That's
lot. There was a lot more revolting than people talked about, and they don't want to. But they don't want to
You know
talk
what?
about.
Prime
And
example of that.
go ahead, Des. What you finna say?
Oh no, I was gonna say the prime example of what y'all talking about, the revolts and them not wanting us to know. That Nat Turner movie that came out a few years back that Nate did,
mhm.
and what did y'all bring up for folks to be like, oh, we boycotting him? Was a case, a court case that he had already been dealt with about that rape situation. All of a sudden, that was all over the news, and we was looking at that, and it was taken
Instead
away
of the
from
movie.
his movie. Yep. But now he got a whole new movie out. American Skin, folks is raving about it. They watching it, and it's the same man, and he still got that same situation in his past, and ain't word one came out about it.
See?
How it's all very divisive, very divisive.
Mm-hmm.
And that
And
and
that's
that
the
and
part
that's the
where people.
problem. That was the problem there, and that's the problem as to why more revolts didn't happen. Was the divisiveness separate? Because see, you get one revolt over here, but then you start separating them over here. You revolt, you get a group that revolts here, but then you start separating them here because then you terrify these people here, you torture these people here, and then only this small percentage of people want to revolt now because these
Mhm.
are beaten, these are broken,
And I
and
ain't trying to be like that.
these are afraid, these are too scared, these are weakened, these are sick, and
And
now
some of
they
them just got the surplus. The ones that was just right up on them, just a kissing. And yeah, master, they said they were gonna burn the barn down and let go of all your horses. I just wanted to let you know, master.
Steven.
So
Like
that's
with
what's going.
Django, them Stevens,
Oh, man, all this is
Cause
still
that
going.
nigga up on that name.
them Stevens.
Yeah.
Y'all, all this stuff is still going on now. Like how you were saying, like with the division and stuff. Like,
Hmm.
okay, I'm gonna be honest. I like, we all got a little, a little piece, a little ratchet side in us. But I'm gonna be honest with you. When it come down to the real deal, I'm not studying about no Birkin bag. Okay,
No, I can't
I
stand Birkin.
I'm just saying though. I'm just naming stuff out that get us distracted in our community. I ain't worried about if my man got VIP at the club and I done got my nails done in my set. You know what I'm saying? My set got about $100. Y'all get what I'm getting at.
All right, right.
Okay? That's a division as well. For me to look at how I go look at a female, dang, she ain't got her nails done. Look at her. Her hair all raggedy, her clothes. That is another division.
Hmm.
And some people don't even pay attention to that. It's like, come on, y'all. If you seeing sister girl doing, you think she doing bad, go talk to her. You don't know what she got. She probably put you on knowledge, put you on game
And
because she
see,
probably saving her money to get a house.
and see, you know what? And that's,
That part.
the book Uncle Tom's Cabin kind of showed it was written to talk about like the different types of black people, and that was the stereotypes of you got this type of black person and you got this type of black person, and that was the were the stereotypes of where Uncle Tom came from, and that's where you got the stereotype of where like Topsy came from, and that's where stereotypes of black people like started to originate from.
Manifest. Yeah.
Yeah, those are where, like, yes, those manifestive stereotypes come from, and that's also why uh, Lovecraft decided to throw those in that series and make them into nightmares, because stereotypes are a type of nightmare for black people. Why? Because stereotypes are what cause fear. It's the
Right.
stereotype of black people that instill fear as to why Karens called the police in the first place.
Girl,
They
was you in my mind just then? Because I said that in my head just then. I was like,
they
that's why Karen
scared.
called the police.
They scared.
But of what? When you, as a police officer, a fully armed, trained police officer, can tell me you were scared of a 9-year-old child in the park and you didn't know what he was going to do to you, so you shot him dead. What is that serious that you heard that made you that scared? That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And then on the flip side, I understand they out there risking their life every day, and there are real terrorists out there. But it's just sometimes you gotta use common sense. But common sense ain't that common. I've learned that.
And they base from
But I don't
freaking
know. It's a hard
stereotypes.
subject.
The, these stereotypes instill fear. And where do the stereotypes come from? Racism.
And I wonder, are there any movies on the flip side of that for Caucasian people or any other race where it's something that socially feared that they've done a horror movie about? I can't think of anything like that. That only happens for us. Except for like these dystopian movies or whatever, but
Like the
there
sex trafficking. That's about it.
true. They do that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Taken and stuff like that.
Yeah, you'll see them over there in Amsterdam somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
They be asking for it in the movies, hostel and shit. No. I'm backpacking across Europe. I don't know nobody and I'm sleeping on couches. Um
That should be our next topic.
oh,
Right.
that sounds like a good topic. But I can't think of movies where it's like this is a major thing. Like okay, here you go. We don't get Holocaust horror movies. We get documentaries.
You know
We
what?
get history movies, but we don't get Holocaust horror movies. I can't think of one.
know what? I can't either.
You don't. You get depictions of the like how we have regular old slave movies, but they don't make horror movies about things like that have occurred in history. Don't do that.
Hmm. They sure don't. But do you think that's what make people a little upset? You know?
I, I don't know.
And I'm talking about the other side. It's like, it's always something about slavery.
Well, that's just
Always.
them. That's just being dismissive, though, because you tired of hearing it. Because you tired of having to realize the truth of the situation, that what was done was wrong, and it showed
Mm-hmm.
people back in the gap, and it showed people still doing it, and you can't deny it. So you get tired of hearing it, and you want to say we pulling a race card. Shit, it's
Mm-hmm.
my card to pull. I'm black. I'm black. Blackity black. I'm pull the card all day long.
And I'm black, y'all. And I'm black, y'all.
Right.
I'm black and black.
But you know what? I never thought about that before. Now I don't know any horror movies for like those major situations like that. Hmm. Storming the Capitol is a new horror movie. We're gonna make that, y'all.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we can make it to all right now. This is the fifth wall, so I bet not. We already done said it. So I can see where they stormed the Capitol, but like the Capitol is actually like a house set up for them for terror because they already knew they were coming.
Oh, like oh, what's
Saw.
that movie? Tales from the Hood. With
Oh, so they each see their own little demons.
mm-hmm.
Mm. Mm-mm. Uh, or set them up like Jigsaw.
Right. Every room is something you gotta
Oh,
go through.
yes, that'll be
Hilarious.
good.
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna be honest. I really don't want to dig a little bit too much more because I'm trying to stay professional and I don't want to get too hot. And my bottle almost gone too. You know what I'm
You
saying?
see me over here like, dang, why I keep doing that? Why I keep picking up this empty glass like it's some Bud Light?
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
My bad, y'all.
So if y'all were to, okay, all right, since we're talking about making movies and let's kind of make it on the light side, you know what I'm saying? We already talked about the heavy stuff. So like if you were to make a like different race, but like a slave movie, like what would you do? Or what kind of movie would you make?
Have you guys seen the movie? I don't even know if we talked about it before, but what is it? D- District 9, where they had the race of aliens that was like
Come in.
living in the projects on Earth. Y'all seen that
I don't think
before?
I've seen it.
I've seen that. It's a TV show like that too, but I've seen that. I've seen District 9.
It's like the aliens was like at the bottom of the pyramid and they was like living in the
Mm,
slums. And like one of the guys that was treating the aliens bad, something happened and he started to turn into one. And then
mm,
he started to see how poorly they were treated too once he started turning into one.
mm-hmm.
It was actually pretty good though. It was crazy, but it was good though. It's called District 9.
I wonder if I made an amusement park for like reverse slavery, where people actually go to be like, oh, let's live the experience. That would be a terrifying thing as well.
Oh yeah.
Like a Halloween thing, like reverse antebellum.
I
Come
like
live the horrors.
I like where you going with that. I think with me, I probably would do something like surrogate, where it's like, okay, you can earn up to 100K per month if you allow your body to be rented out for 40 hours a
Oh, I'm
week.
not gonna pay him to mistreat him.
What you mean? They ain't gonna live. Think about it. Come on now.
I'm done.
Sound
I
like
ain't gonna pay.
Antebellum.
ain't gonna pay out that money. Hmm.
Sound like an episode of
That's
Black
the,
Mirror.
that's
Right.
the, y'all know how my head is anyway. But that's the scary part, though. You know, you thinking you're gonna get some money. That ain't what they did. Ain't that what they did? Our ancestors. We thinking we gonna do better. You know.
Listen. So on that note, K Block, what else you got for me, man? What else you got for me? 'Cause we went
Anyway,
all the way over
All the
there,
way over there.
way over there.
thank y'all for joining us for episode 1 of season 3.
Wrap it on up.
Yes. I love it. I love it. I love the fact of how we evolved over the 3 seasons, to be honest. And I appreciate every season with you too. I love it. I hope
Yes,
our audience love it too.
yes, we are moving. You guys, if you haven't already, if you haven't, I don't know what you guys are waiting on. What are you waiting on? Join our Facebook group, Horror and Hooch on Facebook. Follow us, Facebook, Instagram, Fifth Wall, Fifth Column, Temper Drinks. What are you waiting on? But the season is just getting started. Okay?
We've only
We got
just
a full ride ahead of you
begun.
guys. Just getting
Yeah.
started. Okay. We're still in a pandemic, so we gonna be there to get y'all through
It's
it.
horror too, y'all. That's
You got us.
terrifying.
Okay. We got us to take you through it with the horror entertainment, with the drinks. Stay tuned with us. We got giveaways coming. We got your drink ideas coming. We got a short film coming.
Hey.
We got a pilot episode of the Fifth Column dropping.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you want to be anywhere
All of
else at this
that.
point?
Man, y'all better come
All of that.
through.
Come
Come
on.
on now, where the horror reside?
Where the horror reside?
Well,
Where the
let
horror
me not
reside?
say that again for we get a cease and desist in this thing.
Okay.
Run him his money. We ain't got it. We ain't got it.
Man. Okay. Y'all, before we get off, y'all make sure y'all check on me in like a week or so because y'all know I'm down here with this Super Bowl. All these all
Oh,
these people coming down here. I'm a little scared. My
the
exact
COVID traps.
yes, yes. I stay in walking distance from the stadium.
Stay
Y'all,
home.
man, I'm staying home, but I'm
Call out.
sitting. Well, it's Sunday, you know.
Oh yeah. But they
Yeah,
gonna be there all weekend, girl. Don't go to work on Friday.
you're right. I
Stay
might
in the
not.
house.
I'm gonna call out.
Don't play
Stay,
this
Oh,
on air.
stay in the house.
y'all know I'm lying. If I don't set it on here, I ain't calling that. I'm
Stay
just
in,
saying,
stay in the house.
man.
Yeah,
But for real, like my anxiety is like up to here, so y'all might need to check on me.
be
Stay in the
cautious,
house.
y'all. And don't go down there being foolish, y'all. Wear y'all mask.
Man.
Do
And
what you
there's
gotta do.
people, please wear y'all masks down here because I know y'all coming down here to turn up.
Mhm.
I know.
They, they finna turn y'all into Atlanta because Atlanta ain't never shut down, y'all. I'm sick of
Man,
hearing
Atlanta is coming here. I done seen so many people saying it. And it's fine. Y'all can come. But y'all like to turn up with no mask and y'all nasty. Y'all know what y'all be doing.
sick of y'all. I want to go outside and play. Jesus.
Please. Like, with no mask on.
Right.
But yes, y'all, please,
Again, we done went all the way over there. Yeah.
please, y'all,
Thank you for joining
wear your
us.
masks. Wash your hands. Put on some hand sanitizer, please. We want the pandemic to be over with
Now just get some soap and water.
just as much as you guys do. So, COVID safety. We will be back soon with episode 2. We are going to be talking about the horrors of traveling.
Yeah,
So we're going to
we
get
just
into
decided on that.
those movies. So we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to be doing some collaborations and interviews. And, we'll be doing our lives and stuff soon as well. So until then, you guys be safe.
And
And
I'm
we will
black,
see
y'all,
you
and
guys
I'm
next
blacker than black,
time.
and I'm black, y'all,
Good
and
night.
I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all,
Bye.
and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all. I'm blickety black, blacker than black, black, I'm blacker than black, yo, because I'm black.